Hello guys, I'm Shaka King back and once again, y'all title of the video why we'll never get to see Monster Ippo, because apparently there are people out there who believe that Monster Ippo exists. There are people out there who believe that somehow, somehow in a way that we're going to see look, I'm gonna kill it right now. There will never be a Monster Ippo. It would never exist. It's never going to happen. So let's break down the basics here. This whole thing was introduced by Takamura and broken down to Ippo quite well. You cross this line at a certain state. You cross this line at a certain point on the world level where you become something different. You change. What is it that Takamura lost that Ippo holds on so dearly? Who knows? But that was pretty much the basic premise of how he explained. Now, ever since then, we've seen little moments here and there, like when Selmore grazed Kumi, Ippo got mad about that, or Kojima was trash talking to Coach, even though he nearly got put gently to a good night, Ippo got mad, or when he smacked Tay, he got mad. You see multiple different times, over and over and over again, that is not the person that Ippo is trying to become, or that is not what Ippo is trying to do in his life. So if Ippo is not trying to be that person, then why would everybody choose to believe that somehow Monster Ippo is going to exist? What is the exact thing that Takamura was talking about? Does Alfredo Gonzalez have it? Has Alfredo Gonzalez crossed this line? Has Sendo does it? Now tell me, what did Vork lose against Mike Elliott? Tell me, what did Vork lose against Mike Elliott that make him a monster? What did Vork get to beat Mike Elliott, a world champion, conventionally, without any shenanigans? There's no leg pain, no nothing. What is it? Tell me what in Vork changed. His mother dying? He was still the same person. When he saw Mike Elliott cheat, he didn't get mad. He just went and did the same thing. And like this is my moment to win. Like I don't see where this whole Monster Ippo is going to become a reality comes from. It's not. That's not a person that Ippo wants to be. And arguably, no one knows what Takamura meant. But after a certain point on the world level, you become something different. You become something new. I can't remember the exact quote currently, but has Ricardo Martinez got across this point? That's still more across this point. You can't get more monsters than that. Has Mishima going against Juan Garcia? Has he crossed this point to become Monster Mishima? But he's going back to his boxing basics. So, what is this whole monster thing you're talking about? Like you expect to see Ippo get mad and obliterate somebody in the ring? That's not Ippo. That's never who Ippo was. And the one time he did try to do that in the ring, he nearly got knocked out by Kojima, a man who only had one good hand. He nearly got knocked out by him. He got one hand, and he's from 2 weight classes, and he's doing weight management. You got knocked out by him. He's not a bum. But you can't beat a one-hand man. I'm sorry. I don't hate Kojima. I don't think he's trash. But Ippo would never got hit with that counter if he wasn't so mad about the whole coach thing. If he would have just boxed him regularly, it just would have been a Kurosawa 2.0. When Ippo's focused on his technique, when Ippo's boxing the way Ippo does, that's when he wins. That's how you always win. Anytime he has stepped out from that, he never wanted to be that person. That's not who Ippo is. And once again, even going as far as shaving his head. So, why do people believe that this Monster Ippo will come to fruition? Well, that's not who Ippo wants to be. That's not what Takamura is. You don't see Takamura mad all the time. When was the last time we seen Takamura get mad? Against Brian Hawk. So where have this Monster Takamura been ever since? Huh? Where's Monster Takamura at? When was the last time we seen that? Huh? He was just rage. He was going ballistic, man. What happened? What was it against Keith Dragon when he kept throwing the long hook? What was it against Richard Bison, David Eagle? What was it against Ronnie Duck? What was it against that Mickey Mouse guy? What was it against Fox? Where is this whole Monster Takamura? Where was it? Did it exist? So that's obviously not what Takamura meant, but how you changed it to a different person. Because even then, with the whole reunion chapter, it just reiterated how, after all these years, Ippo hasn't changed. And the key reason he started boxing was to become a better person. Or not be a better person, become a different person. But a better person can still say that in the same way as well. So, I just don't get where there's this whole narrative where somehow Ippo has become this monster. Somehow Ippo has become this savage when it's time and time again be reiterated. But not by me, by George. That's not going to happen, and that's not who Ippo wants to be. Ippo's not Sendo. Ippo's not talking more either. So I don't see where this whole narrative comes from. That somehow, somewhere along the line, that Ippo is gonna become monstrous. He's gonna become savage. He's gonna turn into a true self. It's never been who Ippo is. It is more than likely never going to be. So I don't see where this whole hope comes from. This Monster Ippo gonna show up. It never is. And even Itagaki, arguably, Itagaki represents the fans, because they're doing the exact same thing. Believing that this Monsters Ippo is going to show up. It doesn't exist. It really doesn't. Ippo, more than likely, will never box like that. And when he tried to box like that, he nearly got knocked out by Kojima. In the first round. In the first 60 seconds. A man with one hand. A man whose strategy was, I was just going to hit him once. That's the Monster Ippo you want? Because in my opinion, the closest everything we ever get to a Monster Ippo, in my opinion, call me delusional, which is my favorite version of Ippo, is when he fought Gonzalez. He would not fall. He would not go down. He wasn't going to give up. It's all about courage. He told the coach, should I end him now? Wait, what? Ippo has never asked the coach, should he take him out now? Should he end him now? What? Still one of the greatest pieces of dialogue from Ippo. He asked the coach, should I end him now? What? What was the Monster Ippo then? No one said that's a cool Ippo. No one thinks that Ippo is anything remarkable. Ippo lost to Gonzalez, he trash. Wow. Just take away any points of him winning the fight. Alright then. Alright then. Alright then. So, to wrap this up, no one knows what this whole Monster Ippo even means, because no one even can say what it actually is. It's just Ippo getting mad. Takamura don't get mad all the time. How you winning fights? Knocking people out in the first round. Knocking people out after showing up to the ring with a panda outfit, which is a spray painted bear coat. Huh? I'm quite confused. Where was the Monsters Vorg? We're gonna see a Monsters Miata. Oh, I can't wait to see Monsters Amai, man. Monsters Amai gonna be a real beast. He's gonna be a savage, man. He's gonna be an animal. I can't wait to see Monsters Kimura. I can't wait to see Monsters Aoki. Itagaki and everybody else in between. I think when Itagaki did that interview with Mari, he kind of explained in a way, in his own way, what Takamura is talking about, how you can see every muscle fiber, how he's not really seeing a person as a person, he's just seeing a bag of meat. He's just like, there's a sense of, I explained it in the whole why Ippo lost twice video I made like a while back, but it's not about being mad, and it's not about how hard you can hit. I think it's about somewhere how you see your opponent, how you treat fights going into the future. It's not that complicated. It's a simple explanation, but it's not somehow getting mad and just, I'm gonna knock him out. That's obviously not what it is. Especially if you look at Takamura throughout his entire life. Let's say it's Takamura inside the ring and outside the ring. It's pretty much the same. There's literally no difference. So I could be wrong. Hopefully next week's chapter will be better, but I don't see where this narrative is coming from of where we're going to get that Monster Ippo. And how, when Ippo said, well, it's not going to last long, it was supposed to be some type of great moment. It was cool, it was great, but he nearly lost the fight because of it. What was the, is that sacrifice truly worth it? To nearly get knocked out by nobody, pretty much. Who's dropping down 2 weight classes to fight you? Who got one hand? I'm sorry, Kojima's not trash, but he had one hand. Come on, damn it. And was going through weight management. So that means he lost a lot of power just to get to this weight. Unless he ballooned up, which he didn't change. His physique didn't change that much. He's not going to put on that much more weight. So maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I should have sworn George made it pretty clear that Monster Ippo is never going to become an actual thing, but for some reason everybody wants to see it, even though we've already seen it like 3 different times. And each time Ippo did it, he didn't want to be like that. And with one time, it nearly caused him a damn fight. So it is what it is on that front. It really is. It really is. Really. But I don't know if you got thoughts and opinions about the whole Monster Ippo situation. And do you believe Monster Ippo will become a real thing? Do you believe Ippo gonna get mad? He's gonna go Billy Bad Berserk. He's gonna go savage. He's gonna be like an animal, man. Cause that's not who Ippo is as a character, and that's not what Takamori meant by as you cross this line, you're gonna become something different. This is where true monsters lie. That's not what Takamori meant. Was that the case then? I guess Vorg is on that program. I guess we're gonna see a Monster Wally as well. So prepare yourself, boys and girls. We're gonna see a Monster Wally. We're gonna see a Monster Vorg coming up right after back. We're gonna have all these monsters because apparently that's what the monsters thing actually meant. Because Takamori understands this premise, I'm pretty sure Alfredo Gonzalez does. I'm pretty sure Mike Elliott does. I'm pretty sure a lot of fighters understand what Takamori meant. But after past a certain point, you change as a person. But hey, it is what it is. Because I mean, you get tied into the whole school reunion thing and how everybody said that Ippo hasn't changed, and it's been like what 8 years? Like worth like 8 years or so? Yeah, it hasn't been that long. So yeah, he did graduate at 18. Yeah, he graduated at 18. Yeah. Well, it's like an 8-year reunion party, I guess. But overall, I really like to know you guys' thoughts and opinions about the subject, because I don't see how Monster Ippo is going to ever be a thing when Ippo don't want it to be a thing, and no pieces of his personality say, oh, it's going to be an actual thing. The only people who are interested in it, or people who believe it's still a thing, it's Igake. And it's arguably, it's not even wanting to see a Monster Ippo. They just want to see Ippo in the ring. It's Igake and Miyata got the same syndrome. They literally do. Just from two different perspectives. He never fought Ippo, and if Igake want to see what it's like to fight Ippo. Pretty much the exact same thing. Pretty much. But it's up to you guys. I could be the delusional one. There are other Hajin Ippo channels out there, so. But a quick explanation, I haven't been covering the chapters because the chapters aren't doing anything. So now, because of the uppercut, Juan Garcia refuses to dive deep inside, which now somehow allows Michiba to lose the flickers when that wasn't the reason the flickers was that wasn't the reason he shut out the flickers. Like, throwing out the flickers, he just ducked, dodged, and went in deep. And maybe if you are going to plan for up, that's the thing. He's not even throwing the up. Like, he's not even doing the same thing he was doing. He got a high guard. No, he switched to the hitman stance and throwing out flickers. What you going to step inside and have enough time to block or to set up that punch? Come on, Johnny. Come on. It is what it is. I'm just waiting out for the next chapter. But this is a video I thought about making, but I think I was like too mad to make it back then. But now I can do it. Monster Ippo never exists. It never will. Especially in the form that everybody expect to see it, that like, this monster destructive Ippo gonna be a beast. That's not who Ippo is. It's not. But hey, no matter how many times you get a tease of it, somehow you think it's gonna be real. Alright then. But with Boy Shock King, damn it. It's been me Shock King, and like, comment, subscribe if you got thoughts and opinions on the subject. And peace. Back real quick, but I think I might have figured out what it was. I kept on iterating. Oh man, it might be something that's not seeing somebody who's subhuman. You might gotta attack him. It's something that they lost. I think I finally figured it out. You look at guys like David Eagle, Richard Bison, Alfredo Gonzalez, Brian Hawk, and all these others, Vork and everybody else, and Sendo. They don't do boxing as a hobby. They don't do it as something on the side. They don't do it as, well, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, maybe I will, maybe I won't. They do it because they do it. They do it because they truly love the sport. They put their entire heart and life effort into the sport. It doesn't mean some of them don't have side jobs, but they put everything they can into the sport. It's like a game. It's not like anything to shake their confidence. But in this case, with Ippo, what was Ippo's heart when he fought Gonzalez? It was to beat Gonzalez and then what? Potentially fight Ricardo and then what? And which is why Takamura brought up the whole fact of, oh, just because you can't become Japanese champion, you know, just enjoy this as a hobby, because you became Japanese champion. Then what? You just supposed to get lackluster? You're just supposed to stop? You're just supposed to just take it easy? It's pretty much, it all goes back to that whole video I made, that why Ippo lost video, and it goes back to Ippo not having a goal. He no longer want to chase the goal of what does it mean to be strong. He's just going through it effortlessly, just going by the motion, just going to the next fight. He don't have nothing to prove. He don't have any goals. It's just, before it was always Miyata. Ricardo Martinez was like an in-game type of thing, but Miyata was the big fish. It is the fact that the Miyata thing was never solved. It's the reason why afterwards, just like I brought up before, he was just like, what do I do now that the Miyata's gone? Now the coach tried to instill on him his own will, and sure, Ippo did go along, but you can't really say his heart was in it like it was before when he was chasing Miyata. It wasn't. It wasn't at all. Even when a fight with Miyata wasn't directly lined up, it was still like, Miyata, man, Miyata. But now look at him. And somebody say from that same logic, what about Takamura? Takamura don't have a goal. Well, he does. They become world champion in 6 weight classes. That's his goal. And somebody say, if you don't believe in my theory that he won't make it, he stop at 5, the Kogama dies. Somebody say, well, what is Takamura going to do after that? Takamura always has something to do after that. He'll become undisputed in 6 weight class. And I wish I can put it in better words than what I am. I hope you're able to understand what I'm hinting at. But it's really that. I was looking back, I was getting the images for the video, and just like, Takamura just like, maybe you should go back there, maybe you should just be satisfied with becoming Japanese champion, and just continue this as like a hobby. And continue enjoying it as a hobby, like you were before, and just quit now. Well, we still got some good years left instead of continuing. Because really, Ippo didn't really have his full heart into it. It goes back to Miyata. Ippo did anything different. That's the thing. Give Miyata like a Dempsey role, he would have did the same thing. He would have lost. Actually, I take that back. He would have won, but not because Miyata. The way Miyata handled the situation, Ippo did. It's 2 different things. Ippo gave up and never had a goal after that. Miyata continued his career with the one hope of maybe they could potentially fight Ippo, which is the only thing that allowed him to coast along. Ippo, there was nothing. Nothing. Alfredo Gonzalez was just somebody else in front of him. It wasn't like it wasn't like I needed to get past him. It wasn't like I wanted to, like, there was nothing in front of Gonzalez. There was no real drive. There was just nothing. It just stopped. Yeah, that's all it did. And somebody said, well, if other fighters would suffer the same problem, but not really, because the other fighters aren't Ippo. Vorg isn't Ippo. Sendo isn't Ippo. Mishiba isn't Sendo. So, isn't Ippo. So what drove them to be in the sport was a lot different. Mishiba wanted the money. Sendo, he wanted to face the baddest fish in Japan. And even then, until Sendo becomes undisputed, he wouldn't be satisfied. So everybody else had like a main goal to keep them at 100%. To keep them to want to constantly evolve. Remember, Ippo stopped evolving and just coasted along after a period of time. After the whole Miyata fight fell through, you didn't really see anything too much new from Ippo. You didn't really have a drive for Ippo to improve, to continue the Dempsey role, to anything else, because like Miyata was such an essential part of that. And he played a lot bigger role into how Ippo ended his career now than most people expected. But I might put the link down in the description of that video I'm referring to, because I really do think it ties back to Miyata. Ippo didn't have a goal. It goes back to what I've been saying before. He was just coasting along. There was nothing behind it. Miyata still got like with some gas left in the tank with the potential of maybe what if, he's still holding on to that, which is why he went to go confront Ippo about being punched on, which is why he smiled and walked away while walking away from Ryoki, which is why he's just like, he hasn't, even when he was saying to Ippo he moved on, he really hasn't moved on. So that's why he's been able to coast on and say like, I have a need to win, for real need to win, really. It was just, I gotta fight, I gotta go in there and that's it. He wasn't doing it for the money. He wasn't going to fight somebody. He didn't want to become world champion. He wasn't doing it to be a different person. As much as Ippo loved boxing, like, he don't have a motivation for his boxing. He didn't have motivations for, like, when the chips are down, you take them big, hard punches, and your brain is bouncing off your skull with some potential concussion. What is keeping you from going gently into that good night and potentially having brain damage? compared to, all right, I got to do a few more rounds. I got to win. I want to win. I need to win. What's it between that? Because some might say, if that's the case, then, well, how come Sendo gets Gonzalez with one of your favorite Ippos? The courage, the drive, the want, the need. That was like the last time. Like before that, Ippo didn't do that. Sure, he got mad at Kojima, but it wasn't like beating Kojima meant nothing. Like ever since Miyagi, it was just another person in front of him. That's it. Just like even then, he wasn't even viewing it as a challenge. It was just another person in front of him. That's it. Ippo reached arguably Ippo reached endgame before anybody else in the series, really. Because you look at it, Ippo met the same thing with Ricardo Martinez. What is Ricardo Martinez fighting for? A thirst, a desire, a challenge, a need, a person to push him back to them early days in his career where he was a savage monster. We had to, like his heart, his spirit, his body was burning. He was on fire, pushing towards the limits. Combination of punches, brain, your legs going to jellies, spaghetti legs, you're slipping and sliding. That is what George wanted. That's what he needed. That's the only thing that drove him. And now it's become melancholy, but he still have a hope that maybe through Sendo, maybe Wally. This is what it explains why Ricardo Martinez don't like to do rematches. You beat you twice, then what? What I'm gonna get out of that? I'm better than you, and I beat you twice convincingly. Why I'm wasting my time? So you look at it that way, then it will make sense why Ippo fell apart the way he did. It will make sense why Ippo, after not being in a fight Miyata, he was just like, what I'm gonna do now? Because there was nothing else now. After Miyata, there was no, alright, I want to know what it means to be strong. It was just on to the next thing. And so I think it was like vaguely brought up afterwards, but it wasn't the same desire like it was when he fought Sendo. It wasn't the same desire as it was when he fought Sendo for a second time. It wasn't just like, I want to know, I need to know, what does it mean? What does it mean to be strong? And that was in the in-between periods where it was no guarantee that people was going to fight Miyata next. It was just an opportunity. At that moment, it was that goal. What does it mean? But ever since the whole Miyata tragedy of the fight never coming to fruition, Ippo motivation pretty much died. Which is why Takamura was just like, don't get him hyped up like that. Don't get him excited, He put his heart, his soul, and everything behind it. Don't get him hyped up unless you're going to actually go 100%. Or you actually just go ballistic. And so we've seen Ippo hit the punches hard. We've seen Ippo get desperate and try to do the dip roll against Antonio, things like that. But that was just out of desperation. That was just like if you cage a tiger that's already mentally exhausted, I don't think him fighting back is the best tiger you're gonna get. That's not like a starving tiger who's ready for a meal. That's not like a well-fed tiger trying to defend himself. That's just an exhausted animal. That's not a challenge. That's what it is. It's like saying, well, some painted dogs chased down a water buffalo and they killed it. That dude was already mentally out of there by the time he stopped running. He already knew he was going to die. They didn't fight him 1-to-1 when he was fully juiced up. They waited around, they walked him down, and they killed him. That's what happened. So, in this case, I hope you guys like the video theory. This went on longer than I expected. That was actually supposed to be this much extra video in the video, but yeah, I think that's a better way to put it than the way it was early in the video with the whole not seeing as your opponent is human. It still isn't valid. It's still valid to some degree because Takamura, nobody else cares about how much damage they do to somebody. Ippo, he still has some heart towards him. They still like a show of mercy, unless you're afraid of Gonzalez, and then there was no mercy. It was almost stop until you stop moving. So I'm not expecting to see Ippo become ruthless. I don't want Ippo to become some blooded animal because that's not who he is. But it is like a transformation that is going to happen, where it's just like this is how I fight. This is how I do. So, you got thoughts and theories? Hope this is better convey what I meant earlier about how this won't lead to a Monster Ippo and why it won't happen because it won't make sense for Ippo and his character, and that's not what Takamura actually meant either. So everybody keep on saying it's a monster, and Takamura said this is where true monsters lie. What makes them monsters? Because they're some type of out of control race machine, or they put their heart and soul into the sport and allow nothing else to stop them? That they have they just got the soul burning. Takamura fight, he's juiced up. He's always in it. Sendo, Mishima, he's juiced up. But they're always in it. They always like they always have somewhere to go. It's like, it's not like fight to fight where just like, well, after this there's nothing, and after this there's nothing, and after this there's nothing. Mishima been chasing the world championship for a while, and there's no guarantee that he had any plans to stop there. So I hope now you guys maybe get a better understanding of what I'm talking about, what I meant, because it's like that part of it was wrong, but this part better displays of what I meant completely. That's still a part of it where it's just like, I'm not saying Ippo like shows mercy or like he didn't become a ruthless animal, but it's just like there's not too many times where Ippo just like it's ready to go. But the early part could have been a bad take of what I meant, what Takamura meant. That could have been 50-50. I don't think it was 100%. But in this case, Mr. King got like your thoughts opinion. Do you think a quote-unquote Monster Ippo episode, or do you believe that it never will, and you would just get an Ippo that's just better, and that's it? An Ippo that's really the take initiative. A Ippo don't always need the coach in his ear, and they just need him for assistance. A Ippo that's just there, like he's complete heart and soul committed to it, doing things in a mix-up, minute in the ring, like you think it's Miata out of nowhere, like a halfway. Like Ippo actually came up with his own type of punch. He actually had his own type of smash, legitimately, by himself against Miata, and he also pulled it out against Sendo. So, yeah. Hope I really conveyed what I meant. Maybe make sure we can get thoughts and opinions on the video. Hopefully, next week the chapter will be better, and peace.